4 billion. That's how many times his songs were streamed on Spotify. 4 billion. More than most artists will ever see in a lifetime. And the man collecting the royalties? He was sitting at home in North Carolina watching the numbers climb, waiting for a knock on the door that took 7 years to arrive. What he said in the end will shock you. Michael Smith is not who you'd expect. He's not a Silicon Valley prodigy, not a shadowy hacker, not a criminal mastermind with a wall of screens. He's a 52-year-old musician from North Carolina who studied finance at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and spent most of his adult life chasing a music career that never quite arrived. He played in high school rock bands with names like Silent Scream and Self-Destruct. He claimed to have opened small local shows for Blues Traveler and Warrant. But the big break never came, so Smith pivoted. He taught himself to code during the Y2K scare, built a small tech company, made some money, lost some money, and kept drifting, always orbiting the music industry from the outside. Then, in 2017, something clicked. Not a song, not a melody, a number. Smith had been studying how Spotify actually pays artists, and what he found changed everything. Here's how Spotify's royalty system works. Every month, Spotify takes all the money it makes from subscriptions and ads and throws it into one giant pool. Then it divides that pool among artists, based on their share of total streams. So if your songs make up 1% of all streams on Spotify that month, you get 1% of the pool. Simple, fair, elegant, and completely catastrophically exploitable. Because here is what Smith realized. Nobody was checking whether the streams were real. If you could generate fake streams at scale, you could claim a bigger slice of that pool, not by making more money appear, by quietly stealing the slice that belonged to someone else. Every fake stream Smith generated was a fraction of a cent taken directly out of a real artist's pocket. Taylor Swift, Kendrick Lamar, an unknown indie musician paying rent with their royalties. It didn't matter. The pool was shared, and Smith was about to take his share and everyone else's. Smith started small. In 2017, he uploaded his own music, real songs, and used bots to stream them. Automated accounts cycling through his tracks on repeat, 24 hours a day. It worked. Money started flowing in, but there was a ceiling. You could only stream so many songs, so many times before the platform's fraud detection started noticing patterns. So Smith did what any finance-trained mind would do. He scaled. In December 2018, he sent an email to 2 co-conspirators. The message was blunt. We need to get a ton of songs fast to make this work around the anti-fraud policies. That email would later become evidence in a federal indictment. But in 2018, it was just a business plan. Smith partnered with the CEO of an AI music company. The deal was simple. The CEO would generate hundreds of thousands of AI-produced songs. Smith would upload them. The bots would stream them. The songs had names like Zygotic Washstands and Zymo Technical. The fake bands had names like Callous Post, Calorie Streams, and Calvinistic Dust. Nobody was listening. Nobody was supposed to. At its peak, Smith estimated his operation was generating 661,440 streams every single day. That translated to projected annual royalties of over $1.2 million per year. From music nobody had ever heard. By mid-2019, he was pulling in roughly $110,000 a month. He used VPNs to fake listener locations across the globe. He spread streams across thousands of tracks to avoid triggering red flags. He structured his payments through shell companies to evade detection. For 7 years, it worked. The first crack appeared from inside his own circle. Jonathan Hay, a close friend, fellow musician, and collaborator, started noticing things that didn't add up. In 2019, Hay confronted Smith directly. Smith brushed him off. Hay went to local police, then the FBI. Nobody acted. Smith, meanwhile, was doubling down. In a February 2024 email, he boasted that his songs had generated over 4 billion streams and $12 million in royalties since 2019. He wrote it down in an email with the numbers. That email also became evidence. When music distribution companies finally flagged Smith for streaming abuse and threatened to remove his music, his response was almost theatrical. "This is absolutely wrong and crazy. There is absolutely no fraud going on whatsoever. How can I appeal this?" But the federal government had been watching. In September 2024, 7 years after the first fake stream, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York indicted Michael Smith in the first ever criminal case of music streaming fraud in American history. In March 2026, he pleaded guilty. He agreed to forfeit over $8 million. He faces up to 5 years in prison. Here is what makes this story genuinely unsettling. Michael Smith did not break Spotify's technology. He broke Spotify's logic. And the platforms let him, not because they were incompetent, but because fake streams made the numbers look better. More activity, more engagement, better investor reports. Smith himself said it plainly in court documents. The songs were fake, the listeners were fake. But the $10 million was completely real. And somewhere right now, a real artist, a real songwriter, someone paying rent with their royalties, got paid a little less this month. Because a machine nobody could see was quietly taking their share. The question isn't whether Michael Smith was clever, the question is how many machines are still running. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.